Welcome back to Pilates by Brianna. I have a fun workout planned for you today. It'll be another full body workout, about 35 minutes or so, but with extra focus on the core. For the workout today, we will be using the Reformer box as well as weights. I have two 3-pound weights off to the side. You don't need to use weights, but that's an option, anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds. Headrest will be down to start, and we're on our footwork setting. So the foot bar is up. I have on 3 heavy reds, 1 medium blue. So go ahead and get everything set up, grab your weights, and then we'll get started.
Come to lay down on your backs. Headrest will be down. Weights will be at your side. We don't need them initially, but you want them within reach. Heels will go on the bar. We're going to start with bridges. Take a moment to settle in here. Take a nice long inhale, nice long exhale. And then nice and controlled, you can begin peeling your back up off the carriage as you lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale at the top, exhale to roll on down, one vertebrae at a time. Getting some movement in the spine here, getting some nice articulation in the spine. We're going to do a few bridges, just settling in. You're pressing nice and firmly into your heels. As you lift the hips, you're trying to keep them level, even with one another, so you're pressing evenly into the bar. Notice if you have any tightness or any restrictions anywhere in the spine, and send your exhales into that area. We'll make this one our last one. Exhaling up, inhale at the top, exhale to roll back down. Once the hips are on the carriage, your hands will go to the pegs, elbows will go wide, and legs will come into tabletop, and we'll do our windshield wiper abs. Knees will stay together as you bring both legs over to one side. Pause. Think of using the obliques to come back up to center, and then tick-tock the legs to the other side. So you want to try to make sure that the legs stop moving when they're out on the angle, because then you're using your core, your obliques, to come back up through center, not momentum. As the legs go to the right, your left shoulder will stay firmly on the carriage. And then same thing when the legs go over to the left. And you should be feeling a little stretch throughout the chest as well. And we'll do one more to each side. When the legs are back up to center, you can let them drape over the bar. Hands will go behind your head, and we'll be going into a chest lift. Let your head rest heavy in your hands, and we're going to work into our upper abdominals. Take an inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, you're going to lift the head and shoulders up off the carriage, and then control it back down. When you lift the head and shoulders up towards the ceiling, you're going to pause, hold 1, 2, and then lower back down. You're keeping the chin away from the chest, so pretend you have a little apple between the chin and the chest to maintain that space there, and working into the upper abdominals. Two more to go. We'll lift, hold, lower back down, and then we'll lift, hold, and lower back down. Now we're going to do the same thing and then add in a rotation to your left. So you'll lift up into your chest lift, pause, rotate to the left. Think of bringing the right shoulder towards the left hip, come back to center, and lower down. So that'll be the sequence. You'll come up, rotate to the left, back to center, and lower back down. Shooting for about 6 to 8 reps here, working into our obliques before we do the other side. This will be the last one. Elbows stay wide. And then we're going to go into the second side. So we'll come up into our chest lift, pause, rotate to the right, back to center, and then lower back down. And again, about 6 to 8 repetitions here. Your head is supported by your hands. You're thinking of using the upper abdominals, focusing your movement to that region. And you're trying on the rotation, bringing the left shoulder towards the right hip. And we'll make this one our last one. Good work, you guys. We'll put the heels back on the bar, hip distance apart. Hands will go down by your side. Feet will be flexed towards you. And we'll do a few repetitions of just pressing the carriage out and in, finding some warmth through our legs. Knees are parallel to one another. Pressing through the heels, feeling a connection from the heels all the way up to your glutes. Two more times, out and in. Last one. And bring the carriage all the way into the stopper. Grab hold onto your weights and then place your heels wide on the bar, hips externally rotated, arms will go overhead. As we press out, we're going to open the arms out wide. As the carriage comes in, we bring them back together. So think doing a fly with the arms, and we're doing wide external rotation with the legs. As you press out, arms will open. As you bring the carriage in, arms will come back together and overhead. Last time, out and in here. And then when the carriage is in, we'll stay in this position and go into bridges here. So heels stay wide, hips externally rotated, arms overhead. We'll lift the hips up. As you lift the hips, stay in that internal rotation. So keep the knees pointed outward. We're going to feel more into the glutes as you do bridges like this. A lot of people will tend to bring their knees back to parallel and just wide, but we want to stay in that hip external rotation. Arms remain overhead and right over your shoulder. So try not to hold them together. Try to keep the weights separated from one another. Two more to go. Last bridge here. And then lower the hips down. And then we're going to go back to our chest lift. So now as we lift the head and shoulders up off the carriage, the weight will go between the legs. And then as you lower down, the weights will go back up towards the ceiling. Feet don't move, legs are staying in that same position. Exhale as you come up into that chest lift, reaching the arms through the legs. Inhale as you lower, arms go back overhead. And this will be our last one. And now we're going to put all of that together, so pretty much alternating through. So we'll do one press out with our fly. So carriage comes out, arms open, carriage comes back in, arms overhead. Do a bridge, lift the hips, and then lower, and then one chest lift, and then lower head and shoulders back down. So we're going to cycle our way through that. One press out with a fly, one bridge, arms overhead, one chest lift, arms go through the legs. We'll do a few more rounds here, and I want you to focus on really taking your time getting into each position and focusing on form. So wait for the carriage to be all the way in at the stopper before you do your bridge. You want your hips all the way lowered down before the chest lift, and just little things like that. You want to make sure that you're just really working on how you're performing the movements. Last time through, you'll press the carriage out with your fly, do a bridge, keeping the knees wide, and then one chest lift, arms go through the legs. Good work. You could rest the hands down, keep the feet wide, just windshield wiper the legs side to side, get a little release in the low back. And then when you're ready, you can come on up off the carriage. We're going to put on the lightest spring you have. For me, that's one yellow, and take off all the other springs. And come off to the right side of the carriage. So go ahead, get that set up. And then you'll come to standing facing the carriage. I'm going to have my legs wide. My right hand is going to go on the closed shoulder block. Left arm will come out to a T. You're going to press the carriage out as you rotate to your left, and that left arm will go up towards the ceiling. And then bring everything back down. So as you press the carriage out, you're opening that left arm through to the ceiling. So this should be a really nice stretch throughout the chest and the thoracic spine. So a variation of thread the needle. This will be the last time out. Take a little pause in that stretch. Bring the carriage on in, and then we'll walk around to the other side. Legs will be wide. Left hand will go on the closed shoulder block. You're hinging forward, right arm out to a T. And as you press the carriage out, you're opening that right side up towards the ceiling. A few times with the carriage out and in here. Last time out. And then bring the carriage on in and roll on up. You're going to grab one weight, and then you'll sit on the carriage. Feet will go through the shoulder blocks, and you can cross one over the other. We'll have the weight in your right hand, pick up the long loop in your left hand, and we're going to go out to a T. So both arms will go open up to a T, and then bring both arms forward. So strap is in the left hand, your choice of long loop or short loop. Opening the arms out to a T, bring them forward, focusing on sitting up nice and tall throughout. Chin stays parallel to the ground. If you feel this in your neck at all, lower the arms down a little bit to get out of the upper trap. Last one here. And then you can rest the arms down briefly. And now we're going to go into more of a diagonal pattern. So arms will reach out, left arm will go up towards the ceiling, right arm down by the frame as you pull the carriage out. And then both arms will come back to center. So left arm high, right arm low. 2 more here. Last one. And then we'll reverse that. So now the right arm will go high, left arm low. Bring them back to center. And then repeat. Last time here. And then bring the carriage in. You can hang up that strap. Weight will go in the left hand. Switch the legs if you have them crossed and pick up the strap in your right hand. So weight in the left, strap in the right. We have our T arms to start. Arms will open out to a T and then bring them back to center. And same thing if you're feeling this in the traps, just lower the arms down a little bit. Sitting up nice and tall and feeling the muscles working around the shoulder blades. Last one. Bring the arms forward, rest them down briefly. And then we have our diagonal. So the strap will go high, weight will go low. And we're going for about 8 here. Strap high, weight low. Still sitting up nice and tall and working around the shoulder blades. Last one, good work you guys. And then we'll switch. So now the weight hand will go high and the strap hand will go low. And we have about 8 repetitions here. Last one. Good work, you guys. You can hang up that strap, and then we're going to come to kneeling, facing the foot bar, still keeping the one weight. We're going to work into our chest a bit now. Weight is going to go in the right hand, the strap will go in your left hand, and we'll start sitting back on our heels. We're going to go into offering, so elbows at your side, palms up, strap is in just the left hand. As you press out, you're going to come up to a high kneeling, and then elbows come back in, and you'll sit the hips back down to a hover above the heels. So as you come into offering, you'll come into a high kneeling, and then as the elbows come in, you're hovering the hips above the heels. 2 more. And then on this last one, you'll stay in that high kneeling position. With the right arm, you'll do bicep curls. So left arm, you're maintaining a nice hold. The work is more on that left arm, but with the right arm, we're just doing bicep curls. Nice asymmetric hold in that left hand, active curl in the right. 1 more curl, and then when the elbow is straight, you'll hold the weight with both hands, lower the hips down, bring both arms over to your left, and then as you come back up to a tall kneeling, you'll bring both arms straight out to forward. So we're doing a chop. As you lower the hips, hands are coming down to your left hand side, and as you raise the hips, arms will come back to center. Also feeling the quads working, as that's what's bringing you from a hovering position to a tall kneeling position. This will be the last one. And then you can hang up that strap. Weight will go in the left hand, and we'll pick up the strap with the right hand and repeat, starting with our offering. So elbows at your side, palms facing up, hips are low. As you press out, you'll raise the hips up to a tall kneeling position. And when the elbows come back in, you're hovering the hips above the heels. So our offering here, and just making it a bit more dynamic. 2 more. And on this next one, we'll hold it up and we'll go into our bicep curls with that left arm. So bending the elbow and straightening it out. Right arm will stay extended the entire time. You're feeling more of the work in that right hand to keep that arm out. One more of the bicep curls, and then when the elbow is straight, you'll hold the hand in both weights, lower the hips as you bring the arms to your right, and we have our chop. Come back up to center as you raise the hips up, arms will go overhead, and lower back down. Both hands will go off to your right hand side. So bring the arms up and over, feeling a little work in the obliques, as well as the shoulders. One more to go. And then bring the carriage in. Hang up that strap, put the weight on the platform, add on a blue spring. So we have a light and a medium. And then we're just going to go into a puppy dog pose for a shoulder stretch. So press the carriage out, you're still kneeling. Hips will stay over the knees and just melt down into your shoulders. Elbows are straight. So just getting a nice stretch through the chest. Bring the carriage in. You can add on a few more springs, that way the carriage doesn't move, and you'll put the short box on. And we'll go into an abdominal short box series. Once the box is on, you'll come to sit on the box, feet on the carriage. Find your safety strap and your weights. You'll put your feet through the straps and pick up the weights. Once you're in position, you'll have the feet flexed into the strap. Hands will come at your sternum and we'll do our C curve. So you'll tuck the tailbone as you begin rolling back over the box as far as you feel comfortable. And then use your exhale to come forward and find your flat back. And then you'll tuck the tailbone on your inhale and roll back. Exhale to assist you back up to your flat back. So make sure you come back to that flat back and then tuck the tailbone, because we're getting some nice sacral mobilization as we work through that C curve and that flat back position. This will be our last one like this. You have that C curve as you roll back and come on up to a flat back. And then we're going to add on to that. We're going to add on a chest press. So hands at your sternum, scoop, roll back, hold, punch the arms out in front, pull them back into your sternum, and then come back up to your flat back. So we're just adding in that punch out. You should feel the core having to work a little bit more with the arms extended. If you feel this in the low back, do a mini punch out, or continue with what we were doing before, no punch out. Last one here. And come on up. You can put one weight down. We're going to come into side overs. Turns to your left. You'll have just the right foot in the strap and the left leg will be up on the box. Right hand will go behind your head. You're going to lean over, find a nice straight line throughout that whole right side of the body, and the weighted arm will be at your sternum. Dip down over, and then come back up to your straight line, rotate, punch up towards the ceiling. Come back to center, dip down, come up, rotate, little rotation, punch up towards the ceiling. And we'll keep going here. So we're working the obliques as we go down over the box, and then working them again as we rotate up towards the ceiling. And again, it's just a little rotation, doesn't have to be a huge movement for it to be effective. Last one here, go over the box, come up to that straight line, rotate, punch up towards the ceiling, and come to your straight line. Good. The weight will now go in the right hand, right arm up towards the ceiling, and we have little pulses. So little pulses up towards that ceiling, really feeling that right side working here. Small range, left hand can be behind your head to support it. You're almost there. And rest. Good work. You could put the weight down. Left hand will go into the well. Right arm will go up towards the ceiling. And then up by your head for a nice stretch throughout that whole right side of the body. You can even roll the right hip back a little bit to get deeper into the stretch. And then you're going to turn to face the well. Hand will go on either side of the frame and just melt into that stretch there. You could pull the right foot into the strap for a little bit of a traction throughout that whole right side too. To come out of it, you'll press up, come back to your side position, and then come all the way up, and we'll switch sides. The left foot will go in the strap. You'll turn towards the right leg will be up on the box. Left hand behind your head, find that nice straight line. Right hand will have the weight. And then we have our side over with our rotation. So you'll go over the box, come up to center, rotate, and the little punch up towards the ceiling. So just what we did on the other side. We have 2 more here. And then last one. Good work. Find your straight line. You'll take the weight in your left hand, right hand behind your head, left hand up towards the ceiling, and we have those little pulses. Really working into that left side body, pulsing up towards the ceiling. Small movement, just a few inches. 2 and 1. Good. You could put the weight down. Right hand will go into the well. Left arm will go up and over, getting that nice stretch through that whole left side of your body. And if it feels good, you can roll that top hip, that left hip back a little bit too for more of a stretch. And then you'll rotate to face the well. Hands will go on either side of the frame and melt into that stretch there, pulling the foot into the strap to get deeper into the stretch. And then your hands can go to the headrest, come to face the side, and come on up. We are done with the weights, so you can put that off to the side. We'll put on 1 medium blue spring, take off all your other springs, and put the long box on. We'll be going into a glute set. Once the long box is on, come to kneel on the box facing the risers. And we're going to go into a hip extension set. So you'll pick up the right strap, sit back towards the heels, pull on the strap, and then put the long loop on the right foot. And then your hands will go to either corner of the box. You're going to slide that left leg back so it's center in the box, and then right leg will go down towards your side. Keeping that right knee straight, you'll kick the leg back behind you, pause. You'll bend the elbows as you lower the chest down towards the box, back up, and then lower the leg. So you'll kick the leg back, hold, bend into the elbows for a little push-up variation, and then lower that right leg down. We'll go through about 10 repetitions here. When you do your push-up, try to keep the elbows tucked in so that way we're working into the triceps. And when you're doing the push-up, you're keeping that right leg long out behind you, maintaining that hold in the glutes, so it's a nice isometric hold. Keep the core engaged throughout. Spine is straight, so you're not kicking so high that you have to arch your spine. Last time here. Kick back, hold, do your push-up, and then that right leg will lower on down. Good work. Now you're going to come to lay on your left hip. The left hand will go on the headrest. Knees are bent. And we'll go into a knee tuck with that top leg. So lift the leg up. The knee, ankle, and hip are all parallel to one another. You're going to kick out straight and then let the knee come back in. You're strong through that left oblique, so you're staying lifted. Bring the knee in towards the hip and then press on out using the glutes. Last one, we'll bend the knee, press out, keep the knee straight as you sweep the leg forward, and then bring it back in line with the body. When you sweep the leg forward, try not to let it drop down. Try to keep the foot even with the hip. Still staying lifted through that left oblique. Just check in with your form. Last one, you should be feeling a lot of heat through that right leg. And then bend the knees and rest down. Come up to sitting. You could take the strap off and we'll do a quick hip stretch before going to the other side. So you'll cross the right ankle over the left knee, sitting up nice and tall, feeling a stretch through that right hip. If you need more of a stretch, keep the spine straight as you hinge forward. And then you can unwind and we'll repeat that on the other side. So come back onto the box on all fours, pick up the left strap, long loop will go around the left foot. And then both hands will be on either corner of the box. Slide that right knee back so it's centered in the box and on the back half. And then left leg will go down by your side. We'll kick the left leg back behind us, pause. We've got that push up and then lower that leg back down. Just a reminder, when you do the push-up, you're keeping the elbows tucked in. So we're working more into the triceps. And we'll do about 10 repetitions here. When you kick that left leg back, really working into the glute and the hamstrings to stabilize. Spine stays straight and you're firm through the hands. So you're nice and supported around the shoulder blades. Two more. Last one. You'll kick back, push up, and then lower the leg down. And then we have that funky transition. So come to lay on the right side. Right hand will go on the headrest. Legs are stacked, hips are stacked, and we've got the knee tuck. So the left knee will come up. You're going to kick it out long in line with the body, and then knee will come back in towards the chest. Think of driving through the heel and getting the leg pretty much in line with the hip as you kick it out. Last one, you'll bend the knee in, straighten it out. And then when the knee is straight, we have our sweep. So you'll bring it out in front and then pull it back in line with the body. When you bring it out in front, try not to let it dip down. So we're really strong through our hip abductors as well as the glutes. Staying lifted through that right side, working into the right obliques. And this will be the last one. Good work, you guys. You could rest that leg down, take the foot out of the strap, sit on the edge of the box, and we'll come into our figure 4 stretch. So the left ankle will cross the right knee, so you can get a stretch into that left hip. And then you can unwind, come on off the box. We are done with the box, and we'll finish with feet and straps. So you'll put on your feet and straps spring, so typically 1 heavy red and 1 medium blue, or 2 heavy reds, whichever one is more comfortable. And then you'll lay on the back. Headrest can be up or down, and you'll put your feet in the straps. We'll just go for a quick and simple feel-good feet and straps, starting with frog. Heels together, toes apart. We're in a Pilates V, knees in line with the shoulders. As you press out over the bar, the knees will straighten, inner thighs will come together. As you bend the knees, they'll go back in line with the body. So we'll do a few out and in here. Next time the legs are straight out, pause, stay in that Pilates V, bring them up towards the ceiling. And then you'll keep the legs together as you lower them down over the bar. Circle them away from each other, around and up and back towards the ceiling. Maintaining that little bit of hip external rotation, Pilates V shape. So big hip circles here, going as wide as you feel comfortable, getting some nice mobilization throughout the hip joints. One more time around. And then when the legs are overhead, we'll pause and reverse. Circle them away from each other, around and down. Heels will find each other, and then bring them together up through center in that Pilates V position. So hip circles going in the reverse direction. One more time around, circle away from each other, around and down, back up through center. Keep the legs together as you lower them down over the bar, and we'll go into a stretch. Bend the left knee, the left foot will come to the outside of the frame onto the floor. The right leg will go up towards the ceiling. So we're feeling a stretch in that left hip flexor and the right hamstrings. You can pull on the strap of the straight leg, the right leg, to get deeper into the stretch if you would like. Come out of it, you'll bend the right knee, put tension on the rope to help bring the left one up, and then we'll switch. Right knee will bend, go to the outside of the frame, the left leg will go up towards the ceiling, now feeling a stretch in the right hip flexors and the left hamstrings. Option to pull on the strap of the left leg for more of a stretch into the hamstrings and calf. And then you could bend the left knee, put some tension on the rope to help bring the right leg up. Take your feet out of the straps, and you are all done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the workout. If you did, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you have any requests, and I'll see you next time.